What the f?
You only ever color with your Copics using the brush nib, completely neglecting the chisel nib.
Well, yeah, the brush nib is obviously better.
Hush! I hereby curse you in the name of Lord Chiselton.
Who? Okay, I think these marker fumes are a little stronger than I thought. What? No. No, 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 please. No! So, I'm doing the chisel nib challenge today. You guys have been requesting this for ages. I'm finally doing it. I never prioritized it because I didn't think it would be that challenging. I mean, it's not that hard to use the chisel nib. The problem is not using the brush nib by mistake. I definitely did that a few times. I guess that witch's curse was just not strong enough because some of my markers had brush nibs and I accidentally used them sometimes. So does this mean I failed the chisel nib challenge? I mean, I guess. Sometimes it was just for a little bit and then I realized my mistake. Other times I went on a little longer before I realized and I just felt so dirty. Felt like a dirty cheater. So that was the main struggle. My other struggle was that I have a bunch of Copic anniversary markers, the 25th anniversary ones, and they don't have a chisel nib. So I'd really need a color and I'm like, but I can't use that one because it doesn't have a chisel nib. So that would make me sad. Also, a lot of my colors were dying. The brush nibs are nice and fine for a lot of them, or they're just decent. You know, I could tell it's getting a little dry, but they're okay. But then the chisel nib is just super dry, and so whoof, I was really struggling because of that. It was just like limited selection everywhere. You'd think that because I have 300 and some markers, I could find a color that would work. The color I wanted to use as a blending shade on the face was one of the anniversary markers that I couldn't use. Then for the hair, there was one of my major purples that I needed to blend that just died, so I was relying on other purples, but they weren't right. It was just kind of a mess. Then the last thing I didn't like about it is that I have to hold the markers more vertical than I usually do, and so my hand blocks a lot of the coloring process because my hand's so vertical. It's like when I go to ink something. If I'm filming from straight down, you can't see a lot of what I'm inking because my hand is in the way. With the brush nib, I hold the marker more to the side so you can actually see what I'm doing. Other than that though, they're not that hard to use. It's just different. I struggled with the dryness of the marker a lot, but it's really just a different shape. It still covers large areas. You do struggle with teeny tiny areas like trying to get up to the fuzz of the earmuffs. That was really tricky. And then also feather blending, like when I make a line that goes from thick to thin to help me blend, I can't do that very well with a marker. It doesn't create a very nice tapered line. And so I struggled with the hair, except for the part where I accidentally used the brush nib for a good chunk of the hair. Baylee, why? Why? Mayday! Mayday! No! And face to desk. But after this point, I don't think I accidentally used the brush tip even once. I was good after this and stuck to using just the chisel nib. Oh, by the way, the idea for this art was inspired by Trisha Paytas. She had a vlog recently where she opened this pair of earmuffs that her family gifted her, and they were huge and fluffy, and she was wearing glasses too at the time, and I thought it looked so cute, so that's what inspired this. That's why there's the glasses and the earmuffs, and then the rest was just kind of built around that. I tried to make everything have a little bit of pink or a little bit of purple in it just to tie the colors together. Even the yellow rims on the glasses have a little bit of pink, and her teeth were colored with a light purplish pink color. So everything has a bit of pink or purple in it. The skin doesn't really accept where the blushing areas are on the cheeks and on the nose, But other than that, everywhere does, even the scarf. Oh, by the way, I do store my markers on their sides, so I don't know why the chisel nib's so dry. Maybe just because I never use that end, so the ink's never flowing that way. Who knows? I love brush nibs. They're my baby. I use them almost exclusively. It is very, very rare for me to ever use the chisel tip because the brush tip can do everything the chisel tip does and more, unless you want like a very boxy line. But yeah, other than that, I love my brush nib. Any markers that don't have brush nibs are basically dead to me, okay? Dead to me. Oh, another thing I did with this piece of art is I scanned in a line art, and then in Photoshop I just blocked in some flat color just to figure out the color scheme and what colors went where within that color scheme. And then I also had a black and white version just to check the values, and I noticed some were a little too close, so I tweaked them, but it didn't end up being that precise when I actually made it, so the values that are here are not necessarily the same as what I had in my little Photoshop thing. Anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Arty Advent video.
Excellent, excellent. This will be the perfect offering for Lord Chiselton.